Hi, everyone. I wanted to take a moment and send out this short little quick video about the confusing media headlines. Here are some of the things that I've seen over the past couple of weeks that I think you may have seen as well. And I just wanted to point them out and then help you understand what's really happening in the market. U.S. foreclosure filings surged 115% in 2022. U.S. foreclosure activity doubles annually, but still below pre-pandemic levels. Foreclosure filings rose 115% in the past year. So while these headlines are factually true, I want to make sure you understand the data behind them. So let's take a look at this quote from Adam Data. Adam is a leading curator of real estate data nationwide for land and property data. Today, released its year-end 2022 U.S. foreclosure market report, which shows foreclosure filings, default notices, scheduled auctions, and bank repossessions. They were reported at 324,237,000 U.S. properties in 2022. That's up 115% from 2021, but down 34% from 2019 before the pandemic shook up the market. Foreclosure filings in 2022 were also down 89% from a peak of nearly 2.9 million in 2010. I want to put some context to this quote and to this information. So let's take a look at this graph. It is a list of the foreclosure filings from 2005 to 2022. The number of foreclosures in 2022 more than doubled from 2021, but is nowhere near the foreclosure peak that we saw in 2010 of 2.9 million. It's not surprising that the number of foreclosures doubled from 2021 to 2022. We actually had a government moratorium on foreclosures, and we also had the government forbearance program. So there were a lot of factors that in the market that brought foreclosures down to historic lows. The increase in 115% sounds tragic, and that's what the media has grabbed onto to create the idea that there's an impending crash. But that's not what the data shows. In fact, the data shows that we're far below the number of foreclosures when the market crashed. 324,000 is sad, and my heart goes out to all those people that had to go through the foreclosure process. I never want anybody to have to go through the foreclosure process. But we are not going to see the epic proportions that we saw when we had the wave of foreclosures in 2010. The landscape has changed dramatically. Once again, we've had the moratorium and the forbearance program, and then homeowners have a large amount of equity in their homes these days. So if for some reason they're actually dealing with some type of economic issue, they could sell their home rather than go through the foreclosure process. So in fact, take a look at this next slide. I think it gives a little more context. It breaks it down even further as we talk about the pre-pandemic and then the last 3 years. So the average was around 600,000 foreclosures over the 3 years prior to the pandemic. And then we now have over 1 million fewer foreclosures over the last 3 years if you use the average of just under 600,000. So that definitely is really interesting. So let's take a look at this next quote from Rick Sharga, Executive Vice President of Market Intelligence with Adam. 18 months after the government ended the foreclosure moratorium, and with less than 5% of 8.4 million borrowers who entered the CARES Act forbearance program remaining, foreclosure activity remains significantly lower than it was prior to the COVID-19 pandemic. It seems clear that government and mortgage industry's efforts during the pandemic, coupled with a strong economy, have helped prevent millions of unnecessary foreclosures. And then here's one other quote from Bill McBride, founder of Calculated Risk newsletter from January 16th of this year. The bottom line is there will be an increase in foreclosures over the next year from recorded levels, but there will not be a huge wave of distressed sales as happened following the housing bubble. The distressed sales during the housing burst led to cascading price declines, and that will not happen this time. So the truth is in the inventory. Inventory is low, and now that if a home hits the market, it will sell eventually. So clarity is more important than everything now. So if you're seeing headlines like these and are pausing your real estate plans, let's talk. I want to make sure you have all the data you need to make an educated choice for you and your future housing and financial needs. Thanks, and I'll talk to you soon.